Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Love Bay Afrobeat Sports Talk Radio. And today, the best sports hour on radio, the sports hour with Ingle, Monali, and Roger. We cover everything in sports basketball, track and field, soccer, football, everything. But most of all, we cover cricket. It's a very exciting sport, and we cover tennis. So there's so much going on, Monali, out there in the world today, in the sports world today. And of course, I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about some tennis because it was a shocker to some, not so much to me. But Sabalenka lost the finals this morning.
She did. You know what? I need to stop making predictions. I might be jinxing some of the athletes because I definitely predicted last week that she would take it, and that was a shock. I know it
Yeah.
wasn't for you, but I really thought she would have had it in the bag. In the bag.
Yeah. You know what? And I know you're like, talking about the mental aspect of the sport. And I think she's struggling a bit. She has lost three of
Mhm.
her last four Grand Slam finals. So she's
Yeah,
getting there, but she's losing.
yeah,
And she's losing to people. Well, she's number one in the world. So technically, she should always win these matches. But she's losing. And, after she loses, she's upset. But she had the game today. She was
yeah.
up 3-0 in the
Yeah.
third set and lost. I mean, how can a number one in the world do that? Tell me, is it mental now or what's going on with her?
Well, like you said, she's put in all the hard work, and then she gets to the final, and then she's just starting to find herself in the losing end of things. And I think you're right. It's not her preparation, it's not physical. It does really come down to the mental aspect of the game and making sure that she carries it on all the way through to the end of the game.
Correct.
I think we see a lot of athletes who are not able to manage that mental aspect. She obviously has, she is number one, but
Yes.
we're allowed to have good days and bad days and ebbs and flows. And that is part and parcel of the game. She will, I'm sure, rediscover what it takes to finish the game at the top. But she's going through a bit of a slump right now, and she just needs to find a way to get out of it. It does come down to how well you can focus through it, and how well you
Yeah.
can finish, and how well you regulate those emotions.
Yeah.
And we've seen some emotional regulation that shouldn't have been caught by broadcasters in the Australian Open.
Yeah. With Coco Golf. But
Yeah.
some of them are complaining though that it's too intrusive. I mean, the broadcasters have cameras everywhere. And it's
Yes.
becoming a problem for them. They're saying they can't do anything. They can't release. They can't vent. They can't have a moment for themselves. And I don't know. It's on their minds though, because some of them are really upset about it. So I
Yeah.
think the sport needs to gravitate a little more away from that and give the players an opportunity to be themselves and not be putting on this show 100% of the time.
Well, I think we need to understand that they are the entertainment,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And people and the industry in itself exists based on the entertainment that they provide. And
Yeah.
I can see from their perspective that you need some privacy. You need to be able to have some space to, just go through whatever it is you need to
Yep.
mentally to
Yep.
be able to get in the zone for the game. But I think we're also in the time of sport where media is part and parcel of it, broadcast is
Yep.
part and parcel of it. So just the way we train the physical aspect of the game or the mental aspect of the game, I think
Yeah.
this also is a part of that training. And we see it in a lot of sports. Media training is being offered to players, whether
Yep.
it's for interviews, whether
Correct.
but that's something that is part of any sport that you look at now, and it's something that they have to be aware of and they have to navigate. We it's not like, I'll take cricket for an example. It's not like we don't see players venting in cricket. We saw the whole Babar Azam thing, walking off the field,
Yeah.
smashing the Toblerone on his way out. There's a time and place for that. How about you get in the change room when there are no cameras, and
Exactly.
then you let it out?
Yeah.
But players do need to be aware of that. I can see that they're not happy about it, but I also think that we're not able to avoid things like that anymore.
Not anymore. Well, I still think it's a little excessive. And I say this because when you come out of that locker room, there are times when you're walking out to just have that, go into that lounge to relax for a bit, where you just
Yeah.
need your own space. You need your own
Thanks.
mind to,
Yeah.
yeah, and have your own peace. And I think they're saying they're losing that. I mean, to Coco Gauff's point, she said before she lost the game and she banged her when she was out on the court, just like
Yep.
Baba Azam. She
Yep.
banged her racket and she said it was a bad message she was sending,
Yep.
and she didn't want to do that again. So she comes off the court, goes into a corner where she didn't dream there'd be a camera, and she get caught down there. And she's
Look
like,
at
"Look at
God.
this! I'm here hiding, and I get caught, and it still looks bad on me."
Yeah.
So I can see a little where they're coming from, and maybe you could say this is where the cameras are. Maybe just tell them where it is.
Yeah, I suppose red tape areas, where the cameras know they can and they can't go. But
Yeah,
as athletes, we always need to be aware of what we're doing, when we're doing, how we're doing. And we might think, we're not even at a sporting event. But
yeah,
the reality is, if you're someone that's known and you're recognized, people will have cameras anywhere.
anyway,
You
true.
know, you say something on social media, you post something on social media. It's just such a facet of the modern world that we live in, and you constantly have to make sure that you're censoring yourself.
Correct. And I think, as you said, it's something that comes in the training, and it's something that everyone has to adapt to. That's what the world is now.
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, but that's what the world is. And story sells, and people like
Yeah.
when bad things happen because it makes bigger stories.
Yeah.
Right. So,
That's the
there's not a lot
reality.
of good news coming out. It's, who wants to hear the good news, right? So that's
Yeah.
part of the problem as well. So they're looking for these things to happen, or people to break down, or people to say something, or people to be caught crying or something. They're looking for anything, as you said, because it's entertainment now. It's not just
Yeah.
sport, which is just one of those things we have to live with.
Yeah, 100%. But there is another big matchup coming up.
Yeah. So on the men's side, I know we spoke briefly about the man that is going to be 39 in a few weeks.
Yeah.
39, believe it or not. And he's still there. He's in the finals. Novak Djokovic. I don't know. Did you end up watching any part of that game with Sinner?
No, I didn't. I just saw some highlights here and there, but I did read some pretty interesting stats about Sinner, and I think he's 0 for 9 in terms of games that have gone into closer to that fourth hour of play.
Yes,
And
I
so,
think it's like if it passes 3 hours and 42 minutes, I think something like that.
and
He
it's not
loses.
his game.
Yeah,
Exactly. And it makes you wonder whether it's a stamina thing at that point, right? Whether it's a fitness thing. Because I have seen him in previous games against Alcaraz when he's mentally not able to take control of the situation and lose it.
yeah,
And this, I think, is not so much a mental thing because he's lasted. And then it's the amount of time that he's on the court
correct.
and his body just isn't able to keep up. Now, he's a very tall player as well
Yeah,
in comparison to the other players, right? So I wonder if that is part of it as well. When you watch him play, because of his height, he's a lot more squatted when he plays compared to the shorter players.
yeah, they're better lower center of gravity, so yeah, it works better for
Exactly.
the player. I
Something that I think his coaching staff might want to look at. But I am a Sinner fan. I was disappointed to see Djokovic win. But that being said, Djokovic is an incredible tennis player, right? And he's looking for that. He's looking for that final title, maybe before he calls it time.
I
And I
think
know I
he's just
shared
waiting
that
for
interview
that
clip
one
with
to
you.
say, "Give me this one title, and then I call time." That's what
I
he's
tell you
playing for,
what,
I believe.
if he wins this, I think he needs to give credit to that reporter who just kind of poked the bear. I know I shared that clip with you.
Yes, yeah. So no, you're absolutely right on both. Well, back to Sinner just for a bit before we go back to the Joker. Sinner, when he's on his game and he's beating you, he
Yeah.
sort of crushes you.
Yeah.
When he's not doing that, he struggles a bit.
Yeah.
So the mental side is still an issue. When he's not having a great day, he has problems. But he
Yes.
usually fights through it if he plays for a certain amount of time. So it's both for me, it's both the stamina and the mental side that he needs to fix. But he's a phenomenal player because, as you said, he has to crouch a little more. He has to do things a little differently. I see him play with injuries, and so he's
Mhm.
a great player, a
Yeah.
good champion. He has won a lot, right? Remember, no, he's was number one for a very long time.
That's right.
Didn't
Yeah.
lose for like 300 days or something like that. So he's phenomenal. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. He needs to fix the physical so he can go past 4 hours
Yeah.
or change. And then, he needs to be able, because he's 2-10 in 5 setters against anybody in the top 50. 2 and
It's
10.
pretty incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, we're talking three arguably top players in their era at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
right? And you can have these contests, and we are now analyzing whether it's a fitness thing, whether it's a physical thing, whether it's a mental thing, and it's incredible because all three of them are at the top of their game.
they are.
And
They
when
are.
they meet, it's the smallest of margins.
Game of inches.
Either makes you a winner
Yeah,
or takes you out of the tournament.
that is so true. Because even if you look at the one that he missed, that final shot, it was just over the line. Just over the line.
Yeah.
An
Margin.
inch or two, and he's still playing. So you just never know with this game. You gotta be you gotta be very good. I don't know how they do it. They know how to hit the ball right on the line or just in front of the line. I play tennis a little, and it's always in the middle of the court. I can't go to the lines because it's always going to go over. So for them to be so consistently, be the best in the world, something must be going well for them. So you're right.
Yeah,
We're discussing
absolutely.
champions,
Yeah.
like real champions. So yeah, it's just a game of inches, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to bounce back. Whenever he loses, he makes changes and he comes back. So that's why I think he's going to be really, really good, Sinner,
Yeah.
going forward. Because whenever he loses, he finds a way to come back and win. Makes changes. He hasn't figured out the stamina part over 4 hours yet, but I think everything else he has made adjustments for.
Yeah, and I think that's where a good coaching team comes in handy too, doesn't it? Just understands the play, understands his physical abilities, and well, if you want to stay at the top of your game, you have to constantly be
Changing and improving every
you've
single
got
day.
it. Yeah.
Back to Djokovic now. So yeah, you're right. I mean that reporter that pinged him, calling saying he's chasing Sinner and Alcaraz, and
Yeah.
very disrespectful because this is the man that has done so much. He's right there to become the winningest player ever, male or female, for Grand Slams, and you're chasing. I don't know. It was just the wrong words to use, and
Whatever it was, I feel like it might have just lit that fire a little bit more in
it
him,
did.
though.
It did
Yeah.
because he's saying I've been playing for so long. When I was playing against Roger Federer and Nadal, who he believes are his greatest competitors,
Yeah.
he was chasing them.
Yeah.
And when he was winning, when they stopped winning and gave up, and he was still winning, he never got the real credit. You never heard that Sinner and Alcaraz was chasing him.
Yep.
And he's the champion, right? He was the one coming in winning all these tournaments. So yeah, I get his point. And I think it was a little unfortunate that the reporter worded it like that, but you're right. Sometimes you need that little fire to say, I am the best.
That's
Because I
right.
never give him a chance.
I think that's what I really like about Djokovic too. He's not one to hold back in interviews. He's not one to, speak his mind. It could be very polarizing sometimes, but
And some people don't like him
you're going
because
to
of
hear
that.
what he's thinking. Yeah.
The Australians, when he went there and said, "Oh no, I'm not taking any shots for COVID." Nope, nope, not for me. And
Yeah.
they kicked him
Yeah.
out. So, but yeah, he stands up for himself. And I mean, Alcaraz is my player, so I'm not going to say I would like to see him beat Alcaraz, but it would certainly be huge for the sport if he does. And
Yeah.
huge for him. I mean, and his country. I mean, at 39 years old, winning against these young kids who are 22, 23.
Not easy.
It's
not
like,
easy.
whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. At 39, to be in that type of shape is just phenomenal. So looking forward to that final. I think, not sure how much, well, for sure I'll see the replays, but I'm not going to be up to watch all of it. But for sure, I think it's going to be a fascinating finals.
Yeah.
And you can make a pick, although you don't like making picks.
Who are you going? Let me guess. You're going Alcaraz.
I'm going Alcaraz. He's my player. I think he's the best out there right now.
I need to stop making predictions because if the prediction was to always lose the prediction, then I would be in it.
Okay, so you got to pick Novak then because I don't want to lose.
You know what? I just wanted to win that one more title.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's for his sake and for him to round off a really good career. I think.
Yeah, it would be nice. I don't think he will, but I mean, I'm just hoping he goes out there, no injuries, plays to his best, and give it his best shot. And as he says, you do that and then leave the rest with God. So, you never know. It may just play in his hands. Alcaraz, I think he's the most talented of all of them, and he can go 4 hours. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's erratic sometimes
Yeah.
and makes some silly mistakes because he overuses his talent, in my opinion. Goes a little too far and makes mistakes. So you never know. He has never won the Australian Open, and Djokovic has won it 10 times already. So from an experience point of view, a comfortable point of view, I think Joker is in a good position to make it a victory here, to tell the truth.
I think there's another record too, isn't it? Most of them have won the Australian Open at the age of 22, which is what
Yeah,
Alcaraz is
Alcaraz will
at
be the
right
youngest
now.
ever, to ever
Yeah.
win all of, at that
Yeah.
age. So huge, huge. We'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
Before we leave tennis, I know Ingle's not here, but his favorite, I can't say enough favorites, tennis player is Serena Williams. And
Yeah.
she's teasing that she may be coming back. The argument started when she signed up for the anti-doping. You don't do that because that tracks where you go, what you do, what you eat, unless you want to come back and play. So usually you're happy to get out of it. She got into it. So I don't know. Again, you're not a gambling person, but do you think she's going to actually come back and make an appearance on the courts again?
Um, so I like seeing players want to hold on, but hold on and dominate.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not able to do that and you've announced your retirement, you've decided to move on, I think you should respect your retirement.
Yeah.
And it's hard to move on, but if you really want to be involved with the game, maybe look at other avenues, whether you want to mentor a younger player coming through, whether you want to coach a younger player. I don't know if playing necessarily is the way to go.
Where to go?
That's my opinion of it. I know she's also been on some weight loss drugs as well recently.
She has, and she's a lot
And
slimmer.
yeah, she's lost a lot of weight, but it's again, when you're going through the anti-doping, you know, regiment or whatever you want to call it, a lot of those things are going to have to change again for her.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right move, in my opinion. I think she's a legend. She should retire as a legend, which
As a
she
legend.
has.
I prefer that as well. But on the mental side, when she's out there, nobody's tougher than her mentally. So she probably believes that when she comes back, if she comes back out, she can fight her way to a championship. But I'm with you. I think it will be tough.
At a certain point, you can be as mentally strong as you want, but your body isn't going to support it forever.
There you go.
Right? And just like Djokovic, who's now taking on the 20-year-olds, it's going to be the same thing for her. So it's, I think it's not always mind over matter.
True.
Especially when you're playing at the top level.
100% agree. Yeah, I hope she stays away and supports the game in other ways. But you're right. I don't think she should come back. But I'm interested to hear what Ingle has to say, because as I said, it's his favorite.
It's hard to let go. I mean, I can understand it's not easy to retire from something that you love. It is very difficult, and it can be very mentally depressing. I mean, I've not played to that level, but the level that I have played to when I retired, I had gone into a serious depressing hole. It was right before COVID. I just had my second child, and you kind of lose your sense of purpose and your sense of identity. So it's difficult.
It is.
But you have to find ways to cope with it and still be involved in the sport that you love in different ways. There are other avenues to be involved in it.
Yeah, true.
You just have to find what that might be.
Agreed. All right, let's switch over to a little of track and field. So one of my favorite athletes, Sha'Carri Richardson, she is a lovely young lady, bubbly personality, but I think she's half crazy or something. But anyway, I saw the headlines, and you saw it too.
Yeah.
Going at 104 miles per hour, switching lanes, doing all sort of crazy stuff. And there's a video where the police filmed her when she's begging, "Don't send me to jail." I don't know what your thoughts are. I mean, this huge talent, is she destroying her career with her off the track antics, you think?
She seems to get into trouble a lot.
A lot.
And it's disappointing because she really is a serious athlete on the track.
Absolutely.
And she has the power to not only leave a legacy on the track,
Yeah.
but to be a role model to so many people who might have had
Yeah.
similar situations in
Agreed.
childhood,
Agreed.
right? And that is her, that's supposed to be her podium, I suppose, of
Yeah.
getting that positive message out and being that role model for thousands of kids who
Agreed.
are struggling and can see that, you know what, I can be someone, I could be her.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't seem to have that maturity to be able to carry her through all of this. And obviously, it makes a very big difference if you have a good support system around you.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
And I don't know if she has that. And if she doesn't, she needs to find one quickly because she will throw everything away.
Yeah.
And she'll be one of those talents that never really achieves the best that she can.
And for sure, for sure. And I agree. And I think, I can understand they talk about coming from the ghetto and leaving the ghetto, but the ghetto is still in you and all of that stuff. And I think she grew up in a rough way, and she hasn't gotten out of that rough way of thinking, rough
I
way of
must say, I
thinking.
love her spunk.
Oh,
And
she has lots.
I love how her attitude just sets her apart from everyone else.
And her
I love
talent
that
just makes
about
it
her.
better. Yeah.
But I just don't think that getting into trouble with law enforcement, I don't think getting into trouble with, I think what was she involved in? Marijuana use the
Yeah.
last,
Yeah.
right? Like these are things that are not going to set her in making her legacy. She's got to find her
Yeah.
legacy in the right way. And she's
Yeah.
wasting years as athletes. We don't have that much time.
You don't, yeah, let's
She's
say you get
wasting
10
years.
good years, maybe.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I think I'm not sure if she knew. I don't know about now. If she knew initially that the thing she was doing is just wrong, she just did it because I said because of her environment.
Yeah.
Like she lost her mom and she decided to go smoke weed to get
Yeah.
over it. That was her. But that's you're gonna get popped by the drug agency for
Yeah.
that, right? She was beating up her boyfriend in the airport.
Yeah.
They don't do that. And now she was in this high profile lesbian relationship in fights, and it's like, why is she always in the news for the wrong things? I like her talent though, and I really think, and I like her style, her fashion, her spunk. So yeah, I'd love for her to turn it around, but I don't know. She has a lot of money. Is she going to spend it in the right way? Is she going to spend it on people that can help her to get better, the professionals, or is she going to spend it the way she does now, which is just have a fun life doing whatever she wants? It's always a big
Yeah.
question because
It
she
can
doesn't
all
have the
slip
support to tell her.
it can slip away very quickly, very, very quickly, and money can come and go faster than you realize. So
Oh, for
I
sure.
really hope she's able to surround herself with healthy people,
Yep.
people who can keep her grounded.
Yep.
And it also makes me wonder if there is an avenue that she can look into through the what's the equivalent of Sport Canada in the
The
US?
USA track and field?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure maybe they have some sort of
Oh, they do.
avenue that you can turn
Oh,
to.
I mean, I'm a member, so I can tell you they have everything that she needs.
Yeah.
They have all the mental help, all the physical help. They have everything that she needs.
So she's got resources, which most people don't have access
Don't
to.
have,
You've got
and she doesn't
resources.
use it.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's just her. I think, yeah, she has to pull herself away from what she grew up and saw when she was growing up and how she lived as she was growing up, and just become a different person. But it's not going to be easy though. You need a strong personality to do it,
Yeah.
and you need very strong support to push you and make sure they don't say yes to everything she wants.
Yeah.
That's going to be the challenge, but we'll see how that one works out. I hope she has a fantastic year. I mean, this is not a championship year, so let's hope she just runs and runs really well and takes it serious, and becomes the success that I want to see her become. All right, so let's see how she does.
I think a lot of people are counting on her for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the American public for sure, because she's the big deal. But let's see
Yeah.
how it goes for her. And another one the real big deal over there in the USA is Sydney McLaughlin left Rowney, and she made a big announcement a week or two ago that after all these world records and all these championships and medals, she's gonna have a baby. So she's pregnant. That means she's going to be off for quite a bit. That just opens up the whole world. But congrats to her, first of all. She's married to an athlete, so everybody's saying, oh, this child is going to be the next superstar. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it's big news for the sport because there's so much expectations that she would have broken that 400-meter world record. She went so close, didn't get it. Everyone felt she would come back and do it this year with no pressure with the championships, and she's going to be away for a year and a half. So I don't know. The
You
sport
know,
is going to open up now.
well, it will, but I don't think the male population understands that it's not easy for women in sport.
No, it's
And
not. It's not.
that thing called the biological clock is always ticking,
For sure. For
right?
sure.
And the reality is some athletes, some female athletes do want to be moms and they do want to have kids. And you have to time it in a way where, your biological clock is still with you while you're still balancing your athletic career. And
Yeah.
it's not always easy to have a child and then to come back to that athletic lifestyle. It is a lot of juggling.
Yes, it
And
is.
your body changes vastly, when you've had a child. And the female athletes who are able to do it, a lot of power to them. It's not easy. It
It's
is
very difficult.
not easy at all.
Very
So
difficult.
I wish her the best. I really do. I'm sure she can still come back after she has a child.
Oh,
It'll take a year and a half. It'll take 2 years for her body to come back to the same sort of athleticism that it is.
yeah.
Um, but it's also a matter of life. And if you are one of those female athletes who wants to have a child and become a mom, it's a conversation that I've actually had with my husband on several occasions because we timed our two kids while we were still actively playing.
Yeah.
And I look at a lot of the female athletes, and you see they're either playing 36, 37, 38 years of age. And I'm like, wow, like this is
It's not
getting
you.
pretty close to geriatric pregnancy now if you want kids, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I agree. I agree.
it is a life-altering event. It
It
is.
is. It is. It is. But Sydney's quite young. I think she's 24, 25, right? So she's young
Yeah.
enough, and I think she's timing it because 26 is a year without a championship. 27 days worlds.
Yeah.
She automatically qualifies, and 28 is the Olympics. So I know she probably wants to make sure she's ready for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So she does it now. I mean, people would have felt that she would have waited until after the Olympics, and then she'd be like 28 or whatever, or 29, and then go for it. But I don't know. It's up to her,
I
and
I can promise you she's done all the calculations.
I'm pretty sure she's a very
It's a
smart
pretty
girl.
common thing for us to do.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I totally agree. And she's very smart and has done very well, articulating who she is and what she wants.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this was planned.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've been part of these conversations, even with our Canadian women's team back in the day when, we would look at the tournament structure and the scheduling and thinking, okay, well, hello, maybe I could squeeze a child in here somewhere, then be back for the next round of qualifiers. And
Oh boy,
so it's
that's
a
a
level
real
of
juggling
planning.
act. Oh boy. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before cricket, lovely cricket?
I don't think so. I think we can jump into cricket. There's a lot of cricket to talk about.
A lot to talk about. I don't know what you want to start with. You want to start with the World Cup coming up?
Yeah, we can. We can start with the World Cup. There's also the women's global qualifiers that are coming to an end
Yeah.
very soon. 2 teams already in the World Cup between the Netherlands and Bangladesh. The first time that the Netherlands are going to feature in the World Cup.
Yep.
But most excitingly, the US, they take on Scotland, and they're in the Super Sixes for the first time. They beat Thailand for the first time. They have had a very impressive global qualifier. And for a country that's from North America, I mean, it's good to see some positive news
Yeah.
on their behalf. And This is the big game coming up for them against Scotland. So
No, for sure, for sure. But I mean, I know Canada has the resources as well, but I think America is spending their way to make it, getting the right resources, put the amount of resources that is required to be successful. I'm not sure if Canada is doing the same, and that's a whole conversation with Ingle for another time. But I think the US is trying to do their best to be relevant, and so far they've done a good job.
they certainly have a very good pathway in
Yeah,
place, whether it is for the boys, whether it's for the girls,
yeah,
and it leads all the way up to their senior teams. So they're now starting to see, we talk about the LTAD, the long-term athlete development plan, and everyone loves using the term, but if you want to see it successfully implemented, this is it.
yeah.
Their women's program, when it was implemented, this is almost a decade ago now, and it was implemented to see this sort of growth, and
Progress.
it's
Yeah.
starting to pay off for them now. And for them, the biggest positive is a lot of this team that's at the global qualifier, they're still teenagers.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
a lot of them will be playing in the under 19 qualifiers coming up next year, which is a slight cause for concern if you're if you're Canada or Argentina or Brazil. But
How are you going to beat them?
that's what happens when you do things right and when
Right.
that pathway is in place for the right thing.
Agreed. Agreed. And I'm happy to see that. I mean, I believe if you want to be successful, take the time, understand what you need to do to set that pathway up,
Yeah.
and then just execute on it. Just spend the time and execute on it. And I'd love to see Canada do that. I still believe Canada has so much talent that is just not being harnessed the way it should.
Well, and
The US is showing them how to do it.
it's a two-part problem, isn't it? It's the players, which you need to have, which in Canada's case, we definitely have. Let's take our junior boys. I wouldn't say the girls as much, but take our junior boys, for example. We have the numbers,
Yep.
we have the talent, but it's also about having the right coaching staff in place.
Yeah.
And if you don't have
Spending the
the
money
right
to get
sort of
that in
coaching
place.
staff,
You got
you're
to
not
spend the
going
money
to.
to get that.
You've got to spend money to get that. You've got to have the right people in the right places. And that's essentially what's going to come down to talent versus developed talent, because talent isn't going to get you to the top all the
No,
time.
get you through the door,
Exactly.
but that's it.
Exactly.
That's it. So I totally
And
agree.
I mean, it's good to see the US and the progress that they've made. Even their under 19 boys at the World Cup
Yeah.
have done fairly well.
Very competitive.
They've been competitive and they've put up some decent scores against some really good sides. They've not had as many wins as they would like, but there's certainly a lot of promise in that squad.
You can see the
And that
progress
is
being made.
homegrown talent.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the progress. You can see
Yep.
that, in a couple of years from now, they're going to be a force to reckon with.
Yep.
You can almost
Yeah.
feel that. So, which was exciting for me to notice as well. What do you think about Mr. Jones, though? He's US guy now. I don't know. We're saying all these good things about the US in terms of getting things ready to be successful. And then the Mr. Jones story comes out.
I've had the chance to meet and interact with him in a few different tournaments, and
Okay.
he genuinely is one of the nicest guys you will meet.
I've heard that.
And when I saw the news come out, I was gutted. I was gutted for him, and I was gutted for what could have been of Aaron Jones.
Yes.
Because based on the investigation and the charges laid so far, with more to come, it looks like this might be a career-ending event.
I believe so. I don't think the amount of time they took to do the investigation, I think they know what they have.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can get away from this one. He's done, in my opinion.
And it's sad, isn't it? Because he's one of those players who is starting to get regular opportunities in leagues around the world.
Yeah.
He was performing.
Yeah.
He was part of a really good win for the US against Canada in the opener at the last T20 World Cup. And he just had so much promise as an athlete, and it's disappointing for him. It's disappointing for USA Cricket, because that's someone that they would have counted on for the next few years for sure.
Sure.
But it also makes you question where and how easy it has become for players to fall into these holes. in these leagues around the world. And that's
Yeah.
where that education piece is so important with the anti-corruption setup. And it's a lot of in my opinion, from the ICC following up and educating,
Yeah.
and the national boards also educating, following up, and making sure that their players continue to stay on the right path.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I've seen like Marlon Samuel, there's all these names you can call of
Mhm.
people who got caught up in it, and it's tempting. And I think it just depends sometimes on who you are on the inside. But like for me personally, it would never happen to me. So I always struggle a bit to say, why can't you just say no? But then again, I don't know their circumstances. But in his
Yeah,
situation, he had so much resources and support and everything around him. I don't see. I mean, I can understand some of these others, and it's prevalent sometimes in the Asian side of stuff. But
yeah.
I don't see why he needed to step into this gambling thing and setting games. It's just unbelievable.
I think you just said it right with the temptation and the situation.
Yeah,
And sometimes I think the temptation's so big
it
that
can.
you might just bite the bullet. Um, the reality is the associate members will not have the same sort of financial resources and financial stability as some of the full members will.
Correct.
And so when you look at that situation, sometimes these things become a bit more tempting than they should.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I'm just gutted for him. I feel like obviously the wrong decisions were made,
Yeah.
but he was someone who was very talented and could have continued to go places. And this
Yeah.
has now completely taken him out of the game.
Yeah. He had a good career ahead of him. He's an exciting player. I mean, and as you said, I believe the US was depending on him to do something special
Yeah.
going forward. So I don't know. I don't know. It's happened, and I'm sorry for him, but I also felt he should have known better. But I mean, that's just me. That's just me. I didn't get tempted, so I don't know. They didn't
I
put millions and millions of dollars in front of me, so I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. I
But
think
it's
the interesting thing for me was the amount of time that it took to investigate.
yeah,
Almost 2 years of
2 years.
investigations for
two
them
years.
to finally lay charges, and
They made sure they
they
wanted to.
really made sure. And I've had a conversation about this with someone else in the cricket circuit. He's a retired player now, but he was mentioning a story that involved one of his former teammates and friend who went through a very similar situation. And he said once they latch onto you and they start investigating, they don't relent. They will get to the bottom of it.
Bottom
And
of it.
well, 2 years of investigating
Yep,
is
that's why I said he's done. They have so much
yeah,
evidence here that there's no way around it for him.
yeah,
I don't know. Just see that whole Bangladesh thing still weighing on this World Cup coming up. They still talk, I mean, about it. I saw Bangladesh send a shooting team, 3 people, but still a shooting team representing Bangladesh to
yeah,
India.
yeah.
So how could you send a team you just rejected, a team that is worth millions to your country and the fan support and everything, and now you're sending these shooters? Isn't it the same issue? So what's going on over there in Bangladesh? It's
You
driving me
know,
nuts now.
I must say it is very disappointing to see how all of this has played out for the state of cricket in
Yep,
general, right? And
100%.
for the state of the players. The fact of the matter is it is going to be the players that take the hit.
Yep, yep.
And we haven't really seen the sanctions that the ICC is going to put on Bangladesh and the fines that might come out of it. None of that has been announced yet.
Yet, yeah.
I just wonder if it's going to be something that's going to set Bangladesh cricket back a few decades.
I think it will. I think it will.
I
I think it
it
will.
is disappointing to see. I obviously the whole security thing with a different sport, different athletes being in India right now raises other questions. But from a cricketing perspective, like I said last week, those 3 countries, they're large cricketing nations and they
Huge.
need to learn to get along. I mean, even Pakistan, between the whole, are we boycotting? Are we not? We're
Yeah.
waiting? That was a whole week of, we will get back to you.
Stress.
We don't know yet.
Stress.
And the uncertainty of it is not fair to the
Clear.
ICC. It's not fair to the athletes.
Yes.
It's nice to see certain boards did get a bit of fun out of it. I don't know if you follow Iceland cricket.
No.
They have the most hilarious posts, and they said, listen, if Pakistan chooses not to
Oh, yeah.
participate, our teams, they're ready to go. And
I
then
did see that. You're right. I did see.
Cricket
That is
Uganda
funny.
chimed in at one point
Yeah.
because Iceland said, now it's just too late. Our bakers, our chefs, they can't get time off this late.
And that's not how you have to play it, right? You can't let it take over your world. But you're right. It's a very big thing for cricket because Bangladesh is a huge playing nation.
Yeah.
And a lot has been invested and a lot is going to be lost. And we have no idea how much is going to be lost from players, from a cricketing point of view either. So it's just sad. And it does put this little turmoil into a sport that needs stability. So it's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Oh, I do fear for them. I do fear for the sanctions and the fines that the
Right.
ICC will eventually announce. And it definitely sucks for the players because they're going to take a big financial hit at the end of it.
At the end of the day. At the end of the
Yeah.
day. So I see the teams getting ready. I see the West Indies playing South Africa. And I know usually so I think they're going to win the last game because that's what they usually do. Win the last game when the other team doesn't care because they want to
Here
see
we go. Here we go.
And then everybody's going to say, oh, I see some progress here. I see some good stuff. Anyway.
Do you know okay, let's be fair here. Do you not see some positives? 173 for 7 in the first game. 221 on the cards in the second game. Okay.
No,
I mean, you
their batting showed up and the bowling didn't.
But I also think the bowling, generally speaking, globally comes down to the way the pitches are being prepared, right?
That's a big part
You
of
have
it.
221 runs being put up on the cards.
Sure.
Where is the game for the bowlers? There's nothing in it for the bowlers anymore.
I know, but Western is still lost by with an over and something to spare. So,
That's right.
I don't know. They could have only made 300 there. So yeah, you're right. It's a combination and all of that, but I'm actually more positive about the West Indies going into this World Cup than people may think. It may sound negative, but I think they have a decent shot to do something this World Cup.
I think
when
they
you look
do.
at most of the teams and you see the composition of the teams,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very competitive World Cup. I don't think there's anybody that is outstanding to say this is the dominant team. It's all a team that everybody's going to have to scratch their way to the top.
I do agree with you. And I think even though they've lost 2 games in this series so far, there's been positives in it, especially on that bowling front. So I think the West Indies needs to just think positive, keep going.
Yeah.
And hopefully they pick up a win in this final game. But you're talking 300 runs. They should have scored 300. India, New Zealand is on right now. T20 game, 271 runs.
There you go.
If you're a bowler, throw in the towel, bring out a pitching machine, and just say, have at it.
I know.
Why even bother? 271 runs.
Yeah, it's set for the batting, not the bowling. So yeah, I totally get it. The scores are going to get higher and higher because people are coming out to see boundaries in sixes.
Do you? I think Australia might have a few problems.
More than I'm looking at their team, I think they will.
Well, they just lost their second game against Pakistan. Pakistan put up 198 for 5. And Australia was bowled out for 108 in 15.4 overs.
I saw that. And I was like, okay, what? But then, what are your thoughts on not picking Steve Smith? I think he plays spin bowling fairly well.
You know what? I must say the squad is interesting.
It's mediocre. Anyway, I wouldn't say mediocre, but it's I don't know. It's not, as I said, it's not a strong squad that you can say, oh my God, they're going to be dominant.
I am. It's a very interesting squad for me. I am surprised Steve Smith is not in there. I am Also very worried for Australia because this is the second game that they've lost, and there hasn't been much in terms of positive,
No
whether
outputs.
it's batting or bowling. Nothing's really
Yeah.
stood out from that squad. So I'm a little worried for them. If this is signs to come before the World Cup starts, you don't want to get into World Cup starting on losses. You want to
No, you don't want
put
to.
that momentum going into the World Cup and you want to continue it. So this is worrying.
Very, very. And I'm not sure how confident they're going to be, but I mean, they probably just need to go out there and Travis Head gets going and the team just lifts themselves. So you just never know. But I don't think they're as strong as people may think they are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the squad, I mean, they do tend to be fighters. I'll
Yeah,
have to give them that, but
yeah, yeah.
it's two games that have really not shown a lot of promise so
They haven't
far.
showed anything. I know,
Yeah.
right? If you ask me. What about England, though? You think they're going to have a drink before this thing starts? Or go to the
Okay,
beach?
so
Go to the beach?
um, you know what? I read something very interesting recently on this whole drinking culture thing with cricket,
Okay,
and it was from a perspective of soccer players, football players,
okay.
and how high high performance soccer players do not actually drink a lot of alcohol at all.
Agreed.
And that is a very different drinking culture than cricket is. And
Very.
apparently, the more that we study the effects of alcohol, um, and how it affects performance, according to this article, cricket is about 5 or 6 years away from reaching the point in which alcohol will start to be pushed aside to be able to perform well in cricket.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm still not saying that England has a drinking
Oh,
problem,
oh, you don't?
but
You don't think so?
because now I think four of their teammates have come out and said, it's not a drinking problem.
I'm drinking, but it's not a problem. I had one too many, not two too many.
That's right.
But they're always
It's
drinking and
it's a
fighting when they go
I think
drinking.
it's a cultural thing, though.
The British drink a lot.
Well, yeah, well, it's not just. It's just. I wouldn't say it's just the British. I think it's quite a few nations who do drink quite a bit.
True. True.
Um, it always does amaze me the amount of alcohol that goes through the systems, especially in some of these franchise setups. I'm like, I don't know how you guys process as much alcohol as you've just consumed.
And still show up and play.
Tolerance.
I know for sure. No, it's good. It's part of the sport for now. As you're right, I think as T20 becomes ingrained more and more, it's going to become all these statistics that they need and you need to show to be considered worthy.
Yeah,
And yeah, alcohol is going to slow you down. So you're going to
yeah,
have to get out of alcohol to meet the requirements of being successful in cricket.
yeah,
So yes, it's
yeah.
going to change over. It's going to have to change. But yeah, right now, yeah, it's not maybe not too many drinks, but they're drinking more than they
They
should.
are. Yeah. But on the note of England and the series that they play or they're playing against Sri
Sri
Lanka,
Lanka, yeah,
um, really interesting post-match or press conferences with the English players saying it was a very difficult pitch. It's one of the worst pitches that they've ever played on. There were a couple of other outside that chimed in and said, well, come on, they just use it. You've got a bat in your hand. You've got a brain. You just got to figure out how to use it. It can't always be blamed to the pitch. They've won the games, obviously, but
yeah,
when you've got the 271 in a T20 and the 250 in a T20, and then all of a sudden you have to work for your runs and you start to blame the pitch. I think we're really moving away from the mindset of batters having to work hard for their
hard.
runs,
Agreed.
and I think that's a big problem in the sport, given that it's becoming too one-sided, in my opinion. It's too batter friendly and not enough of a balance between batting and bowling. And if anyone truly loves the sport, they'll understand that it's only exciting if there is the balance between bat and ball. It's not just about the fours and sixes, because I'm sorry, at a certain point, we used to enjoy the odd boundary, and we used to enjoy the singles and the doubles, and
Yeah,
now not enough fours and sixes seem to entertain us, right? So that whole hype of it is going to die out eventually as well. So
maybe.
that
I don't know.
contest needs to stay in balance.
I so I think earlier when we spoke tennis, we talked about its entertainment
Yeah.
and cricket. You know, you're talking about the love of cricket and the game of cricket. But a lot of people that they're trying to get to come to cricket, they're not there for that. They're there for entertainment. And I think they're trying to set up the game for entertainment, not so much for what the game is. I mean, Michael Holden said he doesn't even watch it anymore for the last 3 years because it's no
Yeah.
longer cricket.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's going to be less and less cricket and more entertainment. And
Is
the
it
sixes,
entertaining?
the
Is it
sixes,
entertaining to just see fours and sixes and nothing in it for the bowler?
you see, that's the thing about it is that most people don't care about the bowler. You know,
Hmm.
it's all about coming and seeing the sixes and the fours. They think that's where the excitement is. You know, you have the fire things go off when the sixes happen. You got all this, so there's not a lot of excitement in for somebody that doesn't know the game. If they're coming to watch a bowler, you know, think and say, okay, give him this ball for this, give him that ball for that, set him up with this.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend time on that. It's not entertainment for them because they're not true cricket fans. It's the true cricket fans that are feeling it, not the newcomers to the game.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing too, isn't it? Because really, like you take baseball, for example, and that balance is important between the pitcher and the batter, right?
It
And
is
very
for the game.
similar to cricket, you need that balance between your bowler and your batter. Otherwise, it is a run fest might be entertaining.
It is
Might be
entertaining.
entertaining to people who enjoy that. I just feel like if someone who truly understands the game and really enjoys the game for what it is, they'll appreciate the contest between batter and bowler.
And they should. And they should. I just don't know if you're going to get new people to the game coming with that to say they want to see the bowler, not the batter, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, for
What
people
was
that
vintage
understand the
chin
game,
music? Huh? Was
what's that?
chin music still entertaining?
It, it is.
Surely.
I mean, I'm a big cricket fan. I remember watching this when I'm a kid, right? So I used to listen on the radio when I can't even watch it on TV. So you know how much I'm into it. So for me, the game has gone in a direction which I'm not happy about. As you're right, the pitches are being built. Um, well, some of them are not even built properly or whatever. You can't even play
Yeah.
on them. But it's all about the batting and the scoring. How much can you score? And they set up the field now. They force it to set the field, so it's more it induces you to score more runs. It's all about scoring and bringing people to the sport just based on how many sixes and fours and how fast you can get to 50, how fast you can get to
Mhm.
100. That's the stats that the people talk about more than anything else. So to get people to the sport and I think to keep it growing, it's going to go T20 and it's going to go less cricket. It's going to be entertainment.
You know what? At that point, I say just get rid of the bowler. Why bother?
Anybody could bowl.
Forget
Really.
the bowler. Just put a bowling machine. Just have at it. I mean, why? Why bother with the bowler at all?
And you know what? There's still going to be a couple of bowlers like a Mitchell Stark or somebody who can figure out a way to get you out. But yeah, most bowlers are not going to be able to survive as it goes forward. Because yeah,
Speaking of
200 is going to be the
which,
standard coming forward, and not too distant future for
yeah,
T20s. 200
yeah,
is going to be the standard, and that's a lot of runs, 10 and over.
it is. It's a lot of runs, a lot of runs. But just quickly to speak about the bowlers and this Australian squad. Pat Cummins is now definitely out of the World Cup.
Oh, no, yeah, he's not going to be there.
Uh,
Yeah.
Injury, and that's another hit to that side
That's
because
a big hit for me for them, you know. And they didn't pick Steve Smith, which is just them, but that's a big hit to not have Cummins there for sure.
yeah, I think I'm going to reevaluate my Aussie prediction taking the World Cup. By the way.
Oh, you are? I thought you were going to South Africa.
Well, like I said, I'm always going to support South Africa. I will be the happiest if South Africa actually wins.
They're looking good,
However,
actually.
let's face it, the chances of that are pretty low. So I was going to say Australia should take it, but I don't know. After these two games, I'm not really feeling it.
You know what? Maybe they're just saving themselves. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little surprised how poorly they've played in these two matches so far. Pakistan is though a great team. So to see them getting pummeled by Pakistan is a little shocking. But
Yeah.
I think Australia is going to do well. I think India for sure is going to be the one to beat them.
We'll have to see. Time will tell.
Time will tell. They're talking this weekend, coming not far away. It's just
That's
around the
right.
corner, so it's going to
That's
be
right.
interesting. But I think the West Indies are going to surprise a few people and get very far. Who knows how far they will get? But yeah, I think South Africa may do something. They're getting better over time in terms of performing at their best when it counts. So they may go into the distance here.
Got my fingers and my toes crossed for South Africa. I really do.
Oh boy. Anyway, we're out of time. As always, lots of fun on the Sports Hour, the best sports talk show in the world. Roger Monali and Ingle. See you guys next week.